In this video, I am going to show you how to create unions in Tableau. But before I do that, I want to kind of discuss the difference between union and join, because union is very similar to join. So I want to make sure you understand the difference. With join, you are combining columns and you are expanding your data. But with union, you are combining rows and elongating your data. So when you union two data frames, you are making it longer. But when you join two data frames, you are making it wider. And with unions, it is best when the data comes from the same data source connection. The tables being unionized all have similar data. Unions are better when this data being unionized all have similar data. For example, table A has 5 columns and table B also has 5 columns. If table A has 5 columns and table B has 10 columns, that might create a little bit of problem and you might end up with a lot of null values. And it is also better when the tables being unionized all has the same column names. In Tableau, unions can be applied to Excel, Google Sheets, CSV file, JSON file, and database tables. So with this little background information on the difference between union and join and the best way to use union, let's go ahead and go to Tableau and let me show you how to actually create unions in Tableau. So I have gone ahead and connected to a data source here. Usually, when you're doing a join, you bring your sheet into the view. And as you can see here, all these sheets are in the same data source connection. And to create a join, you bring your next data source and you just drop it. And that automatically creates a join. To create a union, you take your second data source and you drop it under the first one. So you have to make sure this box lights up before you drop it. And as you can see, when you have a union, the first data source that you had now has a plus sign next to it. And you have this levels icon underneath it. And if I undo the union, let's go ahead and bring almonds back. As you can see, almond has 26 rows. And when I bring hazelnut and drag it and put it here, now it has 52 rows. This is one way to create a union in Tableau. Like I said earlier, you have to be very careful when you drag and drop here. If you take hazelnut, right, and bring it under, if you don't let this light up first and you just drop, it's going to create a join, not a union. If you bring hazelnut and just drop it in the box, it's going to create a join. But if you take it and bring it here and make sure this box is light up, this little box right here is lit up before you drop it, then you'll be able to create a union. Another way to create a union is by double clicking this union icon. So you can just double click this and this comes up right here. and you can specific manual or you can do a wildcard search. And a wildcard search is like if you plan to update this data source connection over time, then you may want to use a wildcard search. And basically, as you add more sheets to this data source connection or as you update your data, your union connection will also update. But we are going to leave this for a different day. Right now, we'll just show you how to create union using your data source connection. So from here, you can just drag your sheets into the box and drag another one into the box. And you can click on OK or you can click on Apply to see the changes you've made so far. And as you can see here, this has 52 rows and it has the title union right here. You can click on this to edit your union to add more stuff to it. Another way, you can also drag multiple sheets at the same time. So you can click on this. If you press and hold shift and click this, it will highlight everything here and you can bring it into the view. Or you could also click on something like this, press and hold Control and then choose different sheets and drag it into the view. And we can click on Apply and we can see the changes that's been made. Now we have 130 rows. And to remove sheets from this union, you just click the X button next to it. Apply. Okay. So that is how you create unions in Tableau. So now we are going to create a quick visualization to show you an example of how unions could be helpful. Let's begin by creating a union. Let's go ahead and take all of these sheets and bring it into the view and click OK. And as you can see right here, we have duplicate columns. What exactly is duplicate column? Duplicate columns is like when you have two columns that tell you the exact same information. Yield per acre pounds is the same thing as YPA pounds. So we want to combine this column and this column because they are the same thing. And to combine these two columns, we just click on this, press and hold Ctrl and select this. Then click on this drop down menu and click Merge Mismatched Columns. Now those two columns has been combined into one. Yield per acre and YPA in pounds. Now we can rename this column. So when you create unions, you might have situations like this where you have duplicate columns and you can use merge mismatch columns to merge the two columns together. And also you might have noticed that we have new columns here called sheet and table name. So if I click on this for example, as you can see, there's no column here called sheet and table name. Whenever you create a union, you get two new columns called sheet and table name. Sheet tells you the name of the sheet this data came from, and table name tells you the name of the table this came from. Let's go ahead and rename this table name tree nut variety. So let's call this Now let's create a new visualization using our newly created union. Let's go to our sheet and let's bring year into columns, and let's bring bearing acreage into the rows, and now let's also bring yield per acre into the visualization. So what we are looking at here is we are comparing the bearing average, we are comparing the bearing acreage to yields per year. So how much land does it cost for this tree nut versus how much value, how much yield does that tree nut produce? And we can use something like tree nut variety as the color. So now we can visualize each tree nut separately, and let's bring this down here. And now we can see that almonds, it's costing them the most land to bear, but it's producing the least yield per year. So this is one way to create a union between multiple data sources and then create visualization from that data source. That's it for this video, and I'll talk to you on the next one.